crash impact, we will literally run out of energy within 50 years of fusion. It's the only way that we can be able to solve another impact defense applies this to resource wars we see from. Lack of resource hedge is not inevitable in the status quo. We need energy, otherwise other people will pass in the short-term competitive hand. The Wheeler maneuver passes in the long-term data does not disprove. In fact, Fujitsuki talks about what would happen if the hedge were to go away, even if the hedge doesn't solve all conflict escalation and other countries capitalize. If we were to do that, we're not going to go for a resource war stuff or disease fails. It leads to their studies. The studies do not necessarily flooding do lead to migrant flows. Other cards that talk about this leads to instability and many other reasons. Leadership argument caucus war would lead to extinction that leads to great power around the G20 is no. War for why when our cards very good says that there's nuclear arms states in the region they would get involved. Science diplomacy does no. Damage only solves our federal cards. Granted, at least cooperation keeps lines of communication open for only it is possible to solve the G20 has no war for why it is. We should have to answer very well. Solvency feeling none of the arguments they have is too funny. The logistical word they have is because the logistics are hard ones. There's no money to do any of the research. Research itself 10 years is not very long to have unlimited energy. The research is money is critical to do that. None of their cards contextualize to a world of the planet or a world where we actually have full funding oil to say. They don't answer at all our energy capitalization data themselves. The economy, all power plants will need to be replaced within a generation. Key to jobs, manufacturing, innovation. That's our lewd evidence. There's no answer leads to inevitable extinction time frame. Concerns no matter when there is literally no chance that we could survive after the plant can peak. They don't want to link to any of our authors mean that they don't get any of their specific methods in this. They say we don't have a framework, but they didn't have one. The one either method should is a sufficient framework. We should be able to weigh the plan. Get agreed that's the only fair way for debate. Otherwise, it's impossible to answer any of the concerns there. Talking about methods, should be first or fear in one card says that when methods are first, we never actually do any policy. This is part of the policy that's justification for the permanent methods. First is wrong channel attempts to develop a critical approach and apology of the danger. It's certain methodology dogmatic priority approach when developing predicted will not going to be on the source appearances. They see much like the inevitability that seem down in narratives. This little to assist in our understanding of critical application methodology to go and in fact the critical evidence rather than opening them, and they say that their cards about energy policy are not specific to the plan. Also, there's no reason they need to an index of our authors to win that our methods are wrong. They have no specific index go to the perm. PERM allows us to interrogate methods while actually solving problems. There's no separate alternatives. We never commit to our representation. We don't add anything that's not the alternative or the play method. Interrogation not be suited to the policy. Their card is not nearly good enough. There's no reason why that is to refer to when evidence also provides a justification for why this is true. Their cards require ring the fusion. Can't solve anything. They don't win this sheet to fall to specificity. If the fusion leads to good things, there's no reason why we shouldn't do it. There's no index of our methodology. There's no reason why there's any mutual exclusivity. We just need to mitigate enough of the impact for the case outweigh that we solve enough of the links to it, because there's nothing specific to the plan that's critical for this. They say extinctions inevitably we control uniqueness of hedge and conflict escalation. There's no war, and therefore the reason why it would necessarily lead to extinction also. The root cause arguments are wrong. Sponsored finance misleading social relations over solely economic, political, cultural, lower than cultural revenues for unjust duration or singular emphasis that were causing minimize conflicts. Understanding is the overdetermination so the economic practices dependent on specific cultural knowledge is overcoming. Opposition will require transforming a range of practices, and there's I'm gonna go back to it. And waste is low level and safe fission is much worse than cracking 12. Fission produces waste, fusion produces more waste. Helium and another toxic reactive tritium indicates that quickly would be recycled and burned there. These ships are wasted. It would be self-contained raw materials, highly radioactivity can be reduced to careful choice of construction. Radioactivity could be comparable with a coal fire plant. Their card about waste is not specific to the plant. It's only about fission, and that's how we would replace fission plant. We sell that, and there's no ethics. It's an exit too. Underlying is where the world that does not responsibility purity of one percentage is not a church even of one to such actors or the independence. It's hard to view them as any more than the world that they're conscious policies. As much about understanding consequences about intention is their actions rather than motivation is significant that one's must be idealistic and fusion. It's a distinct challenge. It's military industrial context. Maybe case help at least rise 12 fusion. This build fusion, control fusion is different than even theoretically fusion device is not weaponized with location, but I will continue the distribution of whole nuclear team confusion, the nuclear energy to cause into these weapons equals energy. Thing is a deliberate and avoidable choice there. Our forces against the transition, including entrenchment of living and nuclear you don't want. Nuclear alternative nothing. Misdirection of missile environmental same will be on the Western countries found out about nuclear. They're playing into weapons loving hand there. Our championship investment next gen nuclear conventional. Nuclear plus makes that for optimal. Weapons nuclear plutonium controlled by a few countries. Nuclear energy loses and nuclear weapons win. Can I move on? Yeah. Okay. Politics. Managed to waste time frame extinction. Is it possible to recover from the time frame? Doesn't change any of our impacts. We are only one controlling. Extinction, their probability card assumes a full-scale war. They can't get there in all their turns. Get targets in a play. They take forever to get through and assume a huge impact. They're not going to win any fusion. If not proceeds, doesn't swing the election too small and no too much. They're the other side will campaign it because both support expansion to 2,000 votes make no difference and not proceed with 12. Key details will be more than half the news can they won't have a renewal even when there's money on the table. We are oblivious to less than 20% no about accepted big controversial energy investments by hacks unaware of these own XL voters are distracted the economy losing preoccupation. They have busy lives elsewhere. All their stuff is based on turnout. Obama won't proceed turnout. That means they can win the original. A link to that. All their card talk about environmentalists, but environmentalists they don't read any card that's critical to election, any state independence. Won't notice that they're answered by our card and theirs won't be. And incentives now should trigger link at least empirically nice link that environmentalists would go crazy about it because all their links about nuclear power disprove that there won't be any response or retaliation from Iran. That's our the broader card. They're just bluffing missiles. Talking they want close removes and Iran will be receiving mitigation measures solid Corona 12. Iran retaliating not to be produced from use could do us to mitigate the Iran calibrates its action to avoid destruction of the regime Iran would resort to retaliation only if it exists with threatened targeted operation need not threaten Iran in a fundamental way.
What was that last card? Actually, before we start with that, we don't have mouses for these little computers that you give us. Can you just give me a document with the cards you're